To all who listen to this happy pod, welcome. My name is Noah Parker, and welcome to my World of Wonder.
World of Wonder.
World of Wonder.
Yes.
Where I'm joined by my beautiful wife and co-host, Mrs. Adriana Parker.
Hello. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday indeed. I have failed to charge a battery, so we're using a second-rate camera right now for camera 3, which for those of you listening on the audio-only version of this podcast does not really matter.
True.
But for those of you watching on YouTube, I am so sorry.
I don't think it's too bad, but...
we're getting some attitude from YouTube over here, but I think we're all right.
Oh no, what did it say?
It's just not getting enough. It says it's not getting enough information, but I think it's sorted itself out now.
Okay.
So we have a fun little episode today.
Yeah.
There's actually a viewer recommended episode.
Shout out.
And yeah, it's actually I think it's gonna sprawl into at least 3 episodes.
Okay.
Could potentially do more.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 will definitely be something that I can do.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be a couple more episodes of this that I can't because I will explain.
Yes.
So today what we are doing, thanks to my friend Michaela, we have decided to take a look at some rides that have been replaced by other rides over the years. And specifically, we're looking at rides that I've experienced both versions of. I would love to do the same for you, but the list would be a little bit shorter because not as many rides have been replaced since you've been going to Disney parks as me. I've been going since 2005, we're 20 years of Disney magic over here. So a lot has changed and a lot of rides have been replaced. So there are 2, I think, on this list that you've experienced both versions of. No, it's just one.
It's just one. Wait.
It's just
is it even
one.
any? Oh, it's just start. Wait, no. What
No.
is it? I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll get there. But anyway, so today we are taking a look at 4, I guess I was going to say 4 rides. It's technically 8 rides. Mm-hmm. But that's semantics. Yeah. It's 4 rides. 4 different rides.
Old versus new.
Yeah, the old versus new. So I'm going to go through the first one, and then I'll let you do the second one, and then we can tag team the third one. Does that work?
Yeah.
We're doing 3 because I was originally going to do like 5, and then as I was writing, I was like, this is going to take way longer than I thought it was. So we have made an adjustment.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, and I am not currently in the note. That was fun. Okay, right on. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the rides, and then we're going to give them some scores, right? Because the object here is to find out if we think Disney made a good move replacing the ride, if we're okay with it, in our opinion, specifically in our opinion.
This is an opinion only.
Yes.
Opinion.
Or if we wish we could go back in time and revisit the previous attraction.
Okay.
So we're going to kick things off with my absolute favorite ride, and that is Star Tours.
Yes.
So this is Star Tours versus Star Tours. The adventures continue.
Okay.
Full disclosure here. I don't know if I'm legally supposed to say this, but I'm going to anyway. I completely wrote on my own the Star Tours portion of this episode. And then time started disappearing, and we got down to I have 20 minutes to finish writing the show before we have to go live. So I turned to everyone's favorite online resource, ChatGPT, to help me write the other 2. But the Star Tours is all from my brain, and I guess a little bit watching a couple YouTube videos, mostly to ensure my memory was accurate, not so much...
Yeah, for sure.
To get information. I was like, I'm watching this to make sure I'm remembering it correctly.
Exactly.
And I did. So it's all good. It is technically all from my brain, but I did also watch a couple YouTube videos. So
nice.
Anyway, so Star Tours opened on December 15th of 1989 and was closed on September 7th of 2010. The original ride took you on a flight through to the forest moon of Endor aboard a Star Speeder 3000 piloted by an
300.
RX pirate droid. That was a typo. It is 3000.
Oh, okay.
On your way to the lush forest moon, the Star Speeder overshot the moon and ended up in a comet storm where the speeder is hit several times by comets. When the speeder, eventually the speeder becomes trapped inside of a large comet and bursts out through one of the walls. Just when the passengers believe they are free from any more danger, the ship was caught in a tractor beam from an Imperial Star Destroyer. But just when things began to look bleak, a squadron of New Republic X-Wings breaks the ship free by destroying the tractor beam. To repay the X-Wing squad for freeing the ship, RX joins them in their strike on the newly revealed Death Star 3 and takes out many TIE fighters while an X-Wing pilot destroys the Death Star 3 the same way Luke did in A New Hope. After a successful strike on the Death Star, RX returns the Starspeeder to the same port we left from, nearly crashing into a fuel truck. I guess it wouldn't be a truck because it's Star Wars, so it's there's no trucks in Star Wars.
Nice.
I guess they're trucks. They're like hover trucks, I guess.
Nice.
I was going to say something, but I forgot what it was. Oh, that is actually... Okay, there is one piece of information in there that I did not actually know until I did a little bit of research on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it was something that I subconsciously knew, but wouldn't have been able to recall on my own. And that is that this ride took place specifically after the events of Revenge of this, or Return of the Jedi. Okay. So when you are destroying the Death Star, you're not destroying the Death Star 2, or you're not destroying the original Death Star. You're not taking place of anything. You are existing in a third attack on a third Death Star. And there's a little bit of like lore into it that like there's a warlord from the Empire, the Imperial Remnant, which is basically what was left after Return of the Jedi and what will eventually become the First Order. And a warlord built this like habitation station to basically scare the New Republic into thinking that the Empire was back or coming back. So it is in fact the Death Star 3 that is destroyed in that, not the Death Star 1. Anyway, we're going to give this some scores. So the ride theming, we're going to score it on theming, the experience, the IP, the ride is themed after, and then our personal preference score.
How are we going to rate them? Like on
a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
Yeah, scale of 1 to 10. So I guess there's 4 options, so we have a possibility of a perfect score being 40. I don't know if anything's going to get that. I mean, I don't know. The next one might. So score on theming. It's Star Wars,
Yeah.
The exterior of the ride, specifically in Hollywood Studios, because we're not really talking about the one in Disneyland or the one in Tokyo Disneyland. I think it's Tokyo Disneyland. They're the same, but the theming is different. And so we're talking in that case specifically about Disney Worlds in Hollywood Studios. Mm-hmm. And we also have to be a little more specific because I'm not talking about the inside, because once you're inside of the one in California and the one in Florida, it's virtually identical. I think the California one is inverse. So like you turn right instead of left, basically. Oh, okay. But the exterior specifically at Hollywood Studios is what we're talking about. Okay. And I guess we can talk about the interior too, but the interior is largely the same as it is now, just updated, I guess. Mm-hmm. So as far as the outside goes, it's weird now because it looks like a set that they would have filmed the Endor scenes on, rather than being themed to look like you are, like Galaxy's Edge, you are inside of the Star Wars universe, boarding.
That's what you're talking about, like how it is now or how it used to be?
It's the same, actually. Oh, okay. So kind of doesn't matter. Oh, okay. The inside, I guess we could talk about. The Starspeeder was still there. It looked different. It looked like the in the video that I showed you. Mm-hmm. It was the one that it was in front of you was white and blue. Yeah. That was the same color scheme that they had on the piece in there, and it was still R2D2 and C3PO talking to the passengers entering the ride. I think the biggest difference is like the audio section in that area where you're first coming in is more just about traveling the galaxy in general via Star Tours, whereas originally it was talking specifically about visiting Hoth because that's what the ride was supposed to be, is you were supposed to be going to Hoth and you miss, basically. The section after that is different as well, but I honestly can't really remember what it used to look like. But I do remember that there was like a droid getting distracted and another droid talking about how the Starspeeder 3000s and the RX pilot droids are like super faulty and it's like not super reliable. So that's a little weird. But as far as theming goes, because the outside is made to look like a movie set, because it was Hollywood Studios, it was supposed to look like you were seeing how the movies were made. And like realistically, we've drifted so far away from that in Hollywood Studios anymore that it's one of only like two things that have anything to do with making movies in Hollywood anymore.
That's true.
So now it just kind of doesn't fit, but it fit perfectly
back then.
So, I don't know what to give it. I like the facade, but I don't know how to grade it.
1 through 5 or
no, it's still 1 out of 10.
Okay.
1 out of 10.
All right. I don't know.
I guess we could do 1 through 5 and have a perfect score of 20. Let's do that. It's fine.
I just feel like it's a wide range from 1 to 10.
I guess we can call it a 4 from previous because that's how.
Yeah.
Because it fit really well. But I think there was.
If you can't come up with something, then you gotta give it a 5.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I was gonna try to give it something that like just made it not as good, but
no,
I can't.
Feel like, no.
It fit really well when the whole park was themed after the magic of making movies, and everything was a movie set. And now it's one of two things in the park that's a movie set. Everything else is either really it's all really immersive actually. Like realistically, Hollywood Boulevard is Sunset Boulevard rather, sorry. Is supposed to immerse you in like 1940s Hollywood. Right. So you're kind of immersed into that. And then obviously Toy Story Land is immersed. You're supposed to be a toy in Andy's backyard. Galaxy's Edge is super immersive, you know. I guess the whole park isn't immersive like that, but largely it is. It's the only thing really left in the park that still holds on to that movie magic. I guess that and Indiana Jones, and it's fitting that they're next to each other.
Nice.
But and then ride experience. I remember this being relatively rough. It was a pretty jerky ride back in the day. It probably wasn't that bad when it opened, but after a couple decades of being open, it got a little bit worse as it went along. So,
okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna say.
I don't know. I can't.
From memory, the ride experience. We'll say a 3 out of 5 because it was pretty rough, but it was still really fun. It was the first time I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, this is what it would be like to fly in space. You know?
That's cute.
And then score off the IP. Score on IP
mean?
it is themed after. That's intellectual property.
Oh.
Now, when this originally opened, Disney did not own Lucasfilm, so they did not actually own Star Wars. They licensed it from George Lucas. So it wasn't their personal IP, so I think we lose a point for that.
Okay.
But it's Star Wars, so it should have been a 5.
Okay.
So does 4 sound fair to you?
Sure.
4.
There we go. Yeah.
I don't even know if we're grading this very well. Okay, personal preference.
It's all opinion.
I really like this ride, but again, I guess the personal preference can be whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, based on my personal preference, it gets a 3 out of 5 because if I was to choose between the next one and this one, I would choose the next one.
Yeah.
So we have 5 and 3 and 4.
Just by watching the video, I feel like I would rather ride the one that's current than...
If my math is correct, that gets a score of 15.
The one that was previously done.
Yeah.
15,
is that right? 6.
Oh, yeah, 15.
Is it 15?
Yep.
5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just saw the way to make that really easy in my brain. Okay. I'll let you go ahead and read the second one, actually, because I think it's going to be less talking for me and a little bit more collaborative if we share.
All right. So the next one, the ride that replaced the Star Tours versus Star Tours The Adventure Continues it was replaced after its 2010 closure by Star Tours The Adventures Continue, which opened on May 20th, 2011. While the exterior of the attraction stayed largely the same, save for the Jedi training Academy stage being redesigned, the set-like indoor facade remains in place to this day. The ride itself received several upgrades, including new high-definition 3D screens and an updated motion simulator. Perhaps the biggest update to this ride was the introduction of randomized sequences, part of what keeps this at the top of my favorite rides list.
I was planning on saying that.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
my
the-
favorite
yeah,
rides
yeah.
list.
Yeah, that's what you're going to say. Sorry. Because of that, it makes it a little tricky to talk through the exact ride experience, but we can give an example. For instance, after boarding, you learn that C-3PO is sitting in the captain's chair and the autopilot begins the takeoff sequence, and you are stopped by either Darth Vader and a band of stormtroopers, Kylo Ren and his reluctant troopers, or a squadron of stormtroopers and an Imperial probe droid. After discovering one of the passengers is actually a rebel spy, R2-D2 performs evasive maneuvers to escape. After blasting off into hyperspace, you enter one of several different intense moments inspired by the films, like joining the what is it? Bunta Eve?
Bunta.
The Bunta Eve pod race?
Pod race.
Oh. Pod race on Tatooine, or a space battle against Boba Fett in the Rings of Genesis. Wait, what? The Rings
The
of...
Bunta Eve
can't
pod
read
race on Tatooine.
On Tatooine.
Or a
What did
space
I
battle
say?
against Boba Fett.
Tatooine?
Yes. Or a space battle against Boba Fett in the Rings of Geonosis.
I'm sorry, I'm not good at reading Star Wars, apparently. What is it? Geonosis? Geonosis. After winning the pod race, you never entered and only ran half lap for, or booting Boba Fett into the deep dark of space, you're hailed by a prominent figure of the rebellion resistance who informs you that you must get the spy
safely.
You must get the spy safely to the rebellion resistance. We then jump once again into hyperspace and enter another intense moments like the Battle of Exegol, or a chase scene over the red salt vaults and towering mountains of Crate. After assisting in this situation, the Starspeeder jumps into hyperspace once again and returns to one of several landing locations, such as a waterside hangar on Naboo, where you skid into a Naboo fighter being worked on by a pip droid. This ending even has two versions. One where the pointed tail of the fighter breaks through the windscreen of the ship, and another where the speeder knocks the same pointed end off of the fighter, resulting in the pit droid tossing a bucket of yellow paint onto the windscreen of the ship. The original version of this ride will always hold a...
See, this is another line that I probably
sorry.
should just say. No,
There
that's
you
okay.
go.
I just didn't read ahead far enough.
Sorry.
Okay. The original version of this ride will always hold a special place in my heart, but I do personally prefer the randomized adventure of the new ride.
Mm-hmm. I like that feature too in that ride a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's not a thing that Disney does very often,
Mhm.
where, I mean, okay, yes, when you go on, like, Cosmic Rewind,
Yeah, I don't
right?
know what song you're
You
getting,
get a
but
random
that's it.
song, but the ride itself
Yeah, it
doesn't
stays the
change.
same.
It's just a different song, right? I guess Tower of Terror has a randomization aspect because it will drop you a random number
that's
of
true.
times, but like, is the ride really changing?
changing?
Is the experience really changing? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
I
I
feel
dropped
like the
4 times instead of 3
experience-
times. Oh, I went a little higher that time.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but I feel like this is the most different, and I think it's really one of the only times that Disney has done it so far.
I think I agree. I think, I don't know. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool to just have that different experience. So.
Score on theming. So, to kind of reiterate what I had said before, where the exterior is very much the same, right? Except the fact that they rethemed the Jedi Training stage, Jedi Training Academy stage, which they actually haven't used since 2020. So that's kind of annoying. But other than that, like, the facade on the outside is virtually identical. And so because of that, I think it's going to lose a couple points because now it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Like, originally, it fit perfectly in the Magic of Hollywood style. Everything in Hollywood Studios was.
Okay.
Now it's really one of only 2 attractions, like I've said probably 1,000 times already in this episode. It's one of only 2 attractions that even still explores the idea of making movies in Hollywood.
Okay, I didn't even realize that, to be honest with
If-
you, looking at the outside and being like, oh, it's supposed to be like if it was being filmed.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, have you ever noticed
said,
that like
just
when you
not
enter the
aware.
queue, right, you go under the big AT, and if you turn around, it's the back half of it is all I-beams and iron works and stuff. That was because it was supposed to be like, oh, this is what you would do on a movie set. If you needed it to look like from this angle, it's an AT. But it doesn't matter what it looks like from the backside because the camera doesn't go on the backside.
Yeah.
That's what that whole front area is designed for.
Interesting.
And so it's kind of lame now. And I honestly don't know what they could do to fix it because like obviously it's not in Galaxy's Edge, so they can't just theme it to be like, oh, suddenly you're on a different planet in Star Wars. Ba-da-ba.
That's kind of like an awkward position.
It is. And it's unfortunately not something they can just move.
Yeah.
So I guess I mean one of the things that I had thought about in my brain of in intrepid magic thinking, I don't know what I'm talking about, was I was like, well, what if they just like kind of did a Toy Story Midway Mania, which you probably don't know this, but Toy Story Midway Mania, the entrance we go into now is what used to be the backside of the building when I was growing up. The entrance, you know, when we're like coming out of Toy Story Land and you can turn left to go by like One Man's Dream, or you can turn right and there's usually Pixar characters over there.
Okay, yeah.
If you went down there, the entrance to Midway Mania used to be down that street. And so it's on the opposite side of the building now.
Oh, wow.
And so in my brain, I'm like, well, what if they just like flipped the sides or something, or they just like did something like that where they reverse it kind of. Right. And so the entrance could be inside of Galaxy's Edge and you just have like a really long queue line to get to the actual building.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty much shot. Like it was obviously probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. But it's definitely not happening now with Monsters Inc. Land opening, because the only way that would work is if they just bulldozed Muppet Courtyard and didn't replace it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of wish they would just move it into Galaxy's Edge, or I don't know how they could retheme it, but like it just, I feel like Hollywood Studios is falling so far away from the movie magic realm that like it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
It's still nice. It still looks good, but
yeah,
I am going to give it a
3.
I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah.
I wanted to give it a 4 because I love this ride and I don't want its score to be that low, but
I
don't
really
know.
Good.
I can't. I feel bad. The ride experience, it's still a little jerky, but it's definitely, but it's definitely better than the original. And it's a motion simulator. It's going to be a little bit jerky.
Yeah.
And in certain aspects, it's supposed to be like there's certain times where it does a weird jerk that it's like, it's supposed to do that.
Right.
So
yeah, for me, I mean, for maybe some people, like you get a little motion sickness on it, but my opinion would be 4 out of 5.
And you know what? That's actually fair, and it's actually because of the 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I feel like if it didn't have 3D, then it would probably be different.
I wish they would just take the 3D out. I personally, the only thing the 3D is good for is the moment when the prominent figure from the films shows up and talks about the
like what's
rebel spy, right? Because then it actually looks like it's floating out in front of you. I guess the other time it works is when not even then, because it doesn't actually go inside. I was gonna say the other time is if the Imperial probe droid is the one who discovers the rebel spy, then it looks different, but it's like it really just isn't the same. Like it's not necessary except for that one part, and I'm like, maybe just don't have that be 3D. It's fine.
Was the old ride, was it 3D or no?
No, the old ride was not 3D.
Interesting.
So it's kind of lame that like that's the only effect that the 3D is really necessary for.
Yeah.
And it ruins the ride for a lot of people. Not me. I don't mind it. I can ride it 7 times in a row without flinching.
Yeah.
But like you have issues with the 3D glasses. You can only wear them for a certain amount of time before they start to give you a headache or you start to get motion sick because of them. And so unfortunately, because of that, I have to give it a 4.
Yeah.
Although it is like, it's
For
stupid
you,
because it's
like
my personal
5,
opinion, but like this one I'm trying to be as a little bit subjective on these at least.
Oh, that's fun.
IP that the ride is themed after gets a little bit better than last time because Disney actually owns it this time. And we give it a 4 out of 5 last time, so it's a 5 out of 5 this time. So 5 out of 5 for IP. It's themed after, mainly just because Disney actually owns it now. And then my personal opinion, I'm not even going to deliberate on this because everyone knows by now it's my favorite ride, so it's a 5 out of 5. Giving this a final score of
17.
17. Quick maths. 17 out of 20, which is pretty good. I thought this was the one that I thought might get a perfect score, but
That's so funny.
I had to be subjective or or objective.
I don't know.
I had to separate myself from it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if I just
we're just like, oh.
if I just was, it was purely my opinion. First of all, there wouldn't be any purpose in having any other. It would just be my opinion, right? There would be no point in having 4 categories to grade off of.
Yeah.
If I was just purely basing it off of my opinion, so I have to take into account some other people. All right, I guess for this one I'll do this as well, because you've never experienced this. All right, so this time we are taking a look at the Great Movie Ride versus Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And this is the one that I had to have ChatGPT help me with a little bit. But I think it was actually kind of worth it, and I'm low-key like, I wish I was a better writer. The Great Movie Ride was the centerpiece of Disney's Hollywood Studios when it was called MGM Studios, and a little bit while it was called Hollywood Studios. That got moved. When the park opened in 1989. Housed in a full-scale replica of Hollywood's iconic Grauman's Chinese Theater, this 22-minute dark ride took guests on a guided tour through some of the most iconic scenes in movie history. From The Wizard of Oz to Alien, Casablanca to Indiana Jones, each scene featured lifelike animatronics and atmospheric effects. Live cast members acting as tour guides added a layer of interactivity, sometimes even getting hijacked by a gangster or outlaw mid-ride. It was a love letter to Hollywood's golden age, produced in a partnership with Turner Classic Movies in its later years. After nearly 30 years, the ride was closed in 2017 to make way for something entirely new, but no less cinematic.
Nice.
Now, see, the only
30
thing...
years, that's a long time.
Yeah, the only thing is that, like, it's not as detailed as I wanted it to be, necessarily. But I'm looking at the recording right now, and it's probably okay.
I thought this was what's the word? Like, I thought this was your favorite ride, like, ever.
This would have been tied
with Star Tours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it's fair to say that this probably would have been my favorite ride over Star Tours for a long time.
Nice. Okay. Are we talking about, like, if we would want to see, like, rewrite the old? Is that later? Or?
That's later.
Okay.
I mean, that the scores get that. So essentially,
the scores get that.
Yeah, the scores give us that information. So the fact that Star Tours, the original, got 15 out of 20, and the Adventure Continues got 20 out of 17 out of 20.
And talking about that.
We can.
Oh, okay. Well, I
hadn't really thought about it, to be honest.
Okay. No, it's okay. I'll just.
It wasn't like a specific segment that we were going to do.
Okay.
It was just like it's just part of the talking.
Okay, I get it. Okay.
So theming, I'm gonna say gets a 5 out of 5 because it is a 1-to-1 replica of the Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. To the extent even that when they were refurbishing the one in Hollywood, they had to get the blueprints from Disney because they lost theirs. Like the real ones got lost, so they just grabbed Disney's because it was the exact same. So super, super cool. I don't remember when that was, but that was a couple decades ago.
Yeah.
I will say score on rides experience. This had 2 slightly different experiences. Because you could be hijacked by Muggsy in the Godfather scene, or you could be hijacked by a like a Western outlaw from the what's his name? Oh my gosh, I lost it just as I was about to say it. The Clint Eastwood scene. I personally thought that the Clint Eastwood one was a little bit more fun because they used fire effects in that scene.
Nice.
If that was where you're being hijacked, so that was really fun. But the Muggsy one was a classic one. It was the one I was the only one I knew existed for a long time.
Okay.
But both were fun. Both ended the same way.
Seems like a really cool ride. It's also like super long.
It is
super long.
22 minutes. Yeah, they don't do rides like that no more.
Yeah. So
it was a very good time.
yeah.
I would say the experience overall
like
is
real actors
pretty
and
good.
everything. Yeah, it's I wish I could have
In the famous
written
words,
this
yeah, I wish you could have written
ride.
this too.
Yeah.
In the famous words of Sage Starkey,
Mhm.
live entertainment is important. I forgot what he
Mhm.
said for a second there. I had to remember it. So because of that, I'm going to actually give it a 5 out of 5 on the experience. Because it was inside, air conditioned, seated the whole time.
yeah.
And
All
you
full
get
the
you get to go through like some really fun movies. I will say maybe we should give it like a 4.5 because the alien scene was low key really spooky. And like
that's funny.
I think I was only bothered by it the first time I went on it in 2005. I don't think it ever bothered me after
That's
that,
so
but that first time
funny.
it kind of freaked me
Oh,
out.
that's so funny.
We'll keep it the 5 because I don't know.
That's fine.
And then I'm gonna say for the IP, it was the IP that it was themed after. This is where we're gonna drop a little bit because based on my grading for IP earlier, Disney didn't own like any of the IP in this except for I'm trying to think. I think Mary Poppins is definitely one, obviously. They had a scene from The Sorcerer's Apprentice in there too. So they had a couple Disney movies, but like most of it was not Disney specific IP. But it was all good IP. That's the problem. That's what's making it hard for me to decide. I think I gave Star Wars a 4 out of 5 before Disney owned the IP, just because they didn't own it. So I'm going to give this one a 3 because the only reason Star Wars got 4 is because it was Star Wars.
Okay. I was gonna say like what would give it a 1? Like
a 1 would be like if it was just like terrible. Like if it, I guess as far as IP goes, it would be like if there is no IP attached to it, like Living with the Land, for example, doesn't have any IP attached to it.
I guess I'm just confused what that means.
Intellectual property is like
Yeah.
characters.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And there is no characters involved in Living with the Land. So if I was grading IP with Living with the Land, it'd get 0 because there is no intellectual property.
Okay.
I guess it's semantics. It all depends on how you look at it. But whatever.
Nice.
We're saying like licensed characters. If they own them, if they had to license them.
Okay.
And then a personal preference score. And I really love this ride. So it gets a 5 out of 5 for that one.
Okay.
Which gives it the highest score we've had so far. No. Yes.
Yeah,
Because 18.
out of 20. Dang. Okay. 18 out of 20.
And the only reason that Star Tours didn't get a better score is because of the 3D glasses.
It's fine. It's still a good score.
Yeah. Oh, we got a subscriber just now. That was cool. I don't know if you're watching the live stream right now, but if you are, thank you very much for subscribing. I lost the notification. Lisa, thank you.
Shout out to Lisa.
Indeed. All right, go ahead with your spiel.
So the ride that took place... In its place now, it stands Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, a fast-paced, family-friendly, dark ride that marks the first ever theme park ride to star Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Opened in 2020, it uses groundbreaking 2.5D technology, no glasses required, to pull guests directly into a cartoon short. The premise, you're going on a leisurely train ride with Goofy as your engineer until cartoon chaos erupts and the world literally breaks apart around you. Runaway Railway trades nostalgia for pure cartoon energy. It's zany, colorful, and bursting with kinetic set pieces and a catchy theme song. Nothing can stop us now. While it couldn't be more different in tone than the great movie ride, it keeps the spirit of immersive storytelling alive, just with a lot more animated mayhem. Whether you love the tribute to a classic cinema to prefer the wild, tune-filled adventure, both attractions capture the evolving heartbeat of Hollywood studios, a celebration of how stories come to life. This is my favorite ride.
And that's fair. I just realized that I didn't put the scorecard underneath this one.
Oh, that's okay.
Let me get it added in
Just
real
copy
quick.
it.
Yeah. So I have never mind. That doesn't even matter. I'm not going to say that out loud. Okay.
Yeah, I like it because it does feel like you're really like immersed in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
without 3D glasses.
Yes, I think that's the
That's-
biggest thing. The 2.5D is huge
Yeah.
because it gives you that fun immersion without needing to give you headaches.
Yes. It's really cute.
Oh,
too.
I didn't even
Just
remember
like it a
talking
lot.
about theming on the last one, but I guess I gave it a 5 because yeah, I did talk about it
Yeah.
next year.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's theming. It's the exact same exterior with a couple adjustments,
Mm-hmm.
and that is that it has a giant marquee that is the name of the ride, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was like, well, they took the Chinese theater and they just like made it all gaudy with this really big neon sign and everything. And I was like, well, is that not something they would do necessarily if they were doing a real premiere at the Grauman's Chinese Theater?
I like it. I mean, yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the whole ride is. It's supposed to be you're going to a
Mhm.
premiere of a new Mickey and Minnie cartoon,
True.
and
I like it.
Goofy's train blows up and you end up stepping into the world of the cartoon.
Yeah. 5 out of 5.
I guess that's fair. 5 out of 5. The ride experience. The ride experience
I
is...
say 5 out of 5 too.
I'm going
know
to
how
give it a
good-
4 out of 5
Why?
because although I know it is your favorite scene, it is one of my least favorite.
Oh, the jerky.
The
one.
jerkiness
Yeah.
of the waltz
1, 2,
with
3, 1, 2, 3.
with the
Mhm.
Daisy. Honestly, like there's a lot of moments in there where you get kind of jerked around a little bit and like
Mhm.
you aren't seatbelted in, you just have that lap bar, and like if it's just
Mhm.
me and you sitting on the bench together, it doesn't bother me that much.
But when you're like,
But like when
people,
we're
you're
next to
like,
people that we like random people and like you get jerked around and you're bumping into each other, I don't like
yeah,
that.
Okay. That
I
makes
really
sense.
don't like it, and it makes me want to give it a 3, but because I know you love it so much, I'm going to stick with the 4.
Okay.
But that one aspect where it's so jerky just makes me not want to give it very much.
Okay.
And then
That's fair.
IP it's based off of, it's a 5 out of 5 because it's Mickey Mouse. They own 100% of it. You know, it's
Mhm.
purely Disney. And who doesn't love? Okay, actually, well, no, because this is that's your favorite style of Mickey and Minnie Mouse,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I can't even talk you down on that because it's not my favorite. I'll be honest. I don't
Yeah.
really. I mean, I don't hate it,
Mhm.
but I don't love it.
Yeah.
Like I probably would put it at the bottom of my list of Mickey Mouse
Really? Okay.
iterations, but it's not like it's like if that list were a tier list, everything would basically be S and A
Mm.
tier, right?
Yeah.
So it would be the last one on the A tier. It's not like it gets an F. Like it's not like it's 0 out of 5
Mhm.
stars. You know, it's still a 4.5 out of 5. It's a 4
Yeah.
3/4 or whatever. You know, 4 1/4. So I don't know. We'll give it the 5. It's fine. And then personal preference. See, this is where I don't know. I know you don't care. You will write it no matter what.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's for me
okay.
if it's over like 45
Yeah, well,
minutes, I won't wait in the line.
I'm fine giving it a 4. It's fine.
I guess, but still that's annoying. It gives it an 18. I don't like it having an 18.
Oh, dang. You wanted it lower? Okay.
Yeah, because I love the Great Movie Ride more. Oh, they both have 18. We're
Yeah.
fine. We're fine.
Okay.
That's okay. They can tie because
Alright.
that is my feeling on this ride, honestly.
Yeah.
That
okay.
is my genuine feelings on Mickey and Minnie's versus Great Movie Ride. I'm sad that I can't have both,
Mhm.
right? Because that would be ideal, is to just have both.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad that Great Movie Ride is gone for it to be here. I wouldn't be mad if it
Mhm.
wasn't here because we had the Great Movie Ride still.
Yeah.
I love both rides so much that like I'm pretty
Mhm.
neutral on it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I would feel the same way.
yes. All right, time for our final ride replacement. This time we're talking about Tiana's Bayou Adventure, or I've been doing the old ride first, and I said it the wrong way around this time.
No, it's fine.
So Splash Mountain versus Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Mhm.
All right, so Splash Mountain opened at Magic Kingdom in 1992 and quickly became a fan favorite, part thrill ride, part musical, and fully drenched in charm. Themed around a controversial 1946 film, Song of the South, the ride followed Brer Rabbit's journey through the Briar Patch pursued by Brer Fox and Brer Bear. It was packed with audio animatronics, catchy tunes like Zippity-Doo-Dah, and of course that iconic 52-foot drop into the splash zone. While the storytelling and music made it a classic, the ride's ties to outdated and racially insensitive source material led to growing calls for change. In 2020, Disney officially announced a reimagining, and in January 2023, Splash Mountain took its final plunge.
There we go.
Okay, all that said,
Mm-hmm.
I really loved Splash Mountain.
Yeah. I wrote
And-
it once, right?
Yeah, and I think it's honestly it's I don't know. I feel like it's really easy to separate it from Song of the South because I never saw it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess the source material wasn't super great,
Mm-hmm.
but like the generations writing it like had no
Mm-hmm.
knowledge of it really. So it's kind of like we're just being told it's bad.
Right.
And so I don't know. I was okay with it because I didn't know what it was about.
Yeah.
I guess it is what it is.
Yeah.
I am personally not mad that it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a water ride. Like the idea is it's not about what the ride is themed after as much as it is how fun is the ride. And we'll get to that. For theming, I think because of what we kind of talked about, we kind of need to give that like a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. there was some broken. There's one Brer Rabbit animatronic in the ride that was called the $1 Million Rabbit because it was constantly broken. So
funny.
that takes the theming down a little bit. So
Yeah.
there you go, 2 out of 5 for that. Ride experience, is a fun little ride in the boat. It was great for hot days. You get splashed and cools you down a little bit. I guess I don't know. What would you give that for ride experience?
I don't know. I'm debating between 3 or 4.
I'm gonna say a 4. 4 out of 5 for that one.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
IP, the ride is themed after. Are we allowed to give this a score? Can we say? We probably have to say. It's 0 out of 5.
0. Okay.
0 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because that's. I guess maybe we could give it a 1 because Disney owned the IP. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then personal preference. I did enjoy the ride quite a bit outside of all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we could give it the 4 or 5.
4.
That's good. That makes the math easy on that
Yeah.
because it's 10.
Yeah.
The lowest scoring ride thus far, and I think it will continue to be
50%.
the lowest. I think that will maintain the lowest
Yeah.
scoring ride
Mm-hmm.
of the evening,
Okay.
which I guess
Alright.
will overall mean it probably was meant to go.
Yeah.
And I know that I have people that will disagree with me, but
All right. Now the Mountain has a soulful new story that opened on June 28th, 2024. Tiana's Bayou Adventure picks up after the events of The Princess and the Frog. Guests join Princess Tiana and Louis the alligator on a musical journey through the bayou as they prepare for a big Mardi Gras celebration. Expect all new animatronics, original music inspired by New Orleans jazz, and vibrant set design that brings the Louisiana wetlands to life.
it appears that ChatGPT does not know that this ride is already open.
This ride is more than a re-theme. It's a celebration of progress, representation, and the magic of music. Tiana becomes the first Black Disney princess to have her own headlining attraction, and Disney Imagineering is going all in to honor the cultural richness and spirit of the Crescent City. Whether you remember the thrills of Brer Rabbit's Wild Ride or you're ready to let the good times roll with Tiana, this attraction space has always been about adventure, music, and that final splashy payoff.
There you go.
Nice.
Now, theming. I honestly really like the theming inside the ride.
Yeah.
I will say the mountain in the middle of the bayou doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It kind of reminds me of like Moana a little bit, or no, like
It's really green.
like very luscious kind of.
Yeah, that's
kinda.
fair. That's fair. The other thing that I've always not loved about it, and I think they might be like low-key working on making it not this way, is I don't like the fact that a random bayou splits the frontier because Frontierland, like the main side of Frontierland, and the it's in there. I need a nap. Oh my gosh, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Yeah.
Right, they're kind of separated now by Tiana's Bayou Adventure. They're not connected, and so it's like you leave the frontier to go to the bayou, and then you re-enter the frontier again. And that's the only thing that has made me feel weird about the theming of this area.
Okay, so let's drop it a little bit.
We'll give it the 4.5 because I don't want to drop it that much because it is really well done for what they did.
Yeah.
But it throws me just a little bit. And okay, I'm not gonna give it the 5 because the 0.5 is
it's fine.
First, it makes the math hard, and second, we haven't given anything else a half rating yet, so we're just not gonna do it. Ride experience, you get so much more wet.
Oh yeah.
I feel on Tiana's than I ever did on Splash Mountain.
Yeah, I like it a lot. 5 out of 5.
If it's hot, it's super perfect. I feel like even the one in Disneyland, you get way more wet. Like the one in Disneyland was terrible for we were wearing ponchos and got off the ride soaked.
Yeah, that was fun.
But you love that fact, so we'll go ahead and give that the 5 out of 5 because I'm okay with that. The experience we give. Why did we give it Splash Mountain a 4 out of 5?
On what, the ride
on
experience?
The experience, yeah.
We were just debating.
I don't know why it lost a point. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you don't get as wet.
Oh, yeah.
Scoring on the IP, it's themed after 4 out of 5. Is that fair? Because I really do love The Princess and the Frog, but it's also not one of the movies that sits at the top of my watch list, I guess. Which is fine. I think it's a great movie, you know, and I really love the theme. It is really well done, in my opinion. The Madame Odie, Mama Odie.
Yeah.
The Mama Odie animatronic is probably my favorite animatronic Disney has ever made.
That's
I don't know
cool.
why, but she's so fun.
She
She's so
is.
fun to watch.
Score on the preference.
And then score on preference. I'm
I'm fine with 4 or 5.
I mean, versus Splash Mountain, controversial, I know. I think I prefer Tiana's personally.
Same.
And honestly, it's probably mostly because it's updated.
Yeah.
Right? It looks fresh.
Yeah.
Whereas Splash Mountain was really starting to look outdated and old towards the end there.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and give it the 5. That's fine.
Yeah.
5 out of 5 is okay with me. And that will be our third ride, getting an
I feel like
18 out of 20.
Just the rides that have replaced old rides in general are to be more quote unquote in the times with the generation of the generation that is going there compared to the generation that it used to be there at a younger age.
Right. It's the target audience.
Yeah, the target audience.
Right. They're trying to get all the millennials and zoomers in there.
Yep.
And
So,
they're low-key
makes
trying to get the
sense.
boomers out. I don't know if that's true, but
That's funny.
right on. Well, thank you so much to ChatGPT for assisting me in writing the summaries for The Great Movie Ride, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Splash Mountain, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Tell us all what you think about the rides and their replacements. Tell us if you think we got it wrong. Tell us if you think we got it right. If you have a suggestion for an episode, let us know. Drop it in our social medias. You can find us on most social medias at Noah Parker Noah Parker's World of Wonder. Primarily Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We're not on X because I am not good enough at social media to even bother trying to be on X, but whatever. But yeah, you can head over there, follow us, and share your thoughts on today's episode. Cool. I think that does it for the primary segment of this episode. So let's take it over and find out what's going on in Mickey's neck of the woods. Well, what's going on in Mickey's neck of the woods is I forgot to hook the phone up, so I gotta get everything sorted out here right quick. And I actually don't think normally I go at the end of the week, I'll go through and sort through what we talked about already last week, right? Oh, I did. Okay, good. So I'll go through and remove things from the saved collection just so I make sure I don't talk about things twice. So here we are, not talking about things twice. And boop, boop. Hey, why is that like that? What happened there? Oh, no. There has been a problem, and I don't know if I can fix it right now. So I guess we'll just talk about it for now.
It's not working?
Yeah, something went wrong with, I don't know, it's really tiny up in the corner. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'll have to fix it. So here are 5 upcoming Disney World closures you should know about, and this information is provided by Disney Food Blog on Instagram. If you're not following them already, head over there and follow them too. They have breaking news all the time. They're in the parks all the time, so basically nothing happens in the parks without them knowing about it. All right, so number 1, Spaceship Earth is closing temporarily in Epcot on August 25th, 2025 to be refurbished and for some maintenance, and it's expected to open later on this year. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm not going to ride Spaceship Earth when I go next time. Well, I get to go to Geo 82, I hope. Oh, well, I hope the lounge is still open. That'd be kind of lame if the lounge isn't open. Then Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid is closing temporarily in Magic Kingdom on July 21st. And it'll be closed through the 26th for refurbishment and maintenance. That's a really short closure. They're going to do the refurbishment in 5 days? That's wild.
Wow.
Anyway, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is temporarily closing in Magic Kingdom on August 4th for refurbishment and maintenance, and it is expected to reopen in 2026. I would say that it's closing for refurbishment is like an understatement. It's being closed for a refresh. It's going to be updated. It's going to come back and be a little bit different than it is now, and should be a lot more fun, I think. It looks more fun.
Okay.
Then Dinosaur is closing in Animal Kingdom. It says Dinosaur closing temporarily in Animal Kingdom in 2026 to be rethemed to Indiana Jones, but Dinosaur is closing in 2026 and it will not reopen because it will when the ride reopens it will be Indiana Jones. We don't know when that's coming yet, but it will be closing at 2026 and eventually becoming Indiana Jones. And then Rock and Roller Coaster is closing temporarily in Hollywood Studios in 2026 to be rethemed to Muppets. And the dear friend of mine who recommended today's episode has informed me yesterday that she hates the Muppets. So she is not very fond of this retheme happening. And I'm sorry. I'm here for it, personally.
For which theming again?
Mm-hmm. The Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh, okay.
They're taking Aerosmith out and replacing it with Muppets. She hates it. She's mad.
Who's?
Michaela.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry about that, Michaela.
You're fine with it, right?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I think it needs a refresh. I think it needs a new band.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, Aerosmith is great, but, like, kind of what we were talking about earlier, the last 2 to 3 generations didn't really listen to Aerosmith.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
maybe the third, maybe the millennials
it's
did, but
out of date, man, out of date.
Yeah. Now, do I think that the Muppets was the best option? No,
yeah,
not at all.
I agree.
But you know,
it's fine.
they had to do something with them, I guess. It's one of those things where I think that did they buy the Muppets? I think they bought the Muppets from. They like own the Muppet company. And so it was like, or the Jim Henson Company. So it was like, you kind of have to do something with that.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
There you go.
You can find out more by commenting on their post calendar, and they'll DM you the link. So head over to Disney Food Blog. They also, this is way less fun not being able to pull it up on the screen. So I'll just have to tell you guys to head over to the Disney Food Blog Instagram page where you can get a sneak peek at the a Walt animatronic that is going to be coming on July 17th. Well, it's opening, I guess, July 17th to the general public in Walt Disney A Magical Life in the Main Street Opera House over there in Disneyland Park.
Nice.
I really wanted to show it on the stream, but I can't because something went wrong with the thing, but it is what it is. Well, that's all we got for What's Going On in Mickey's Neck of the Woods. I'm getting groggy. I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm not going to lie. I'm ready to tap out for the night. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight, or if you're listening later on in the audio-only version, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you guys share this podcast with your friends and family. It's the best way to help us grow. If you like what we're doing and you believe in one man's dream to be a successful Disney content creator, help me out with reaching our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We're sitting at 731 as of like 20 minutes ago.
Nice.
So, first of all, I want to say thank you to every single one of you people out there who have subscribed. It means a lot to us. We really love, like, we literally celebrate every single subscriber.
Love you guys.
It's like, it always makes us so happy to see it go up even by one. And so, we really appreciate you. And we hope that you enjoy what we're doing. I think we already talked about social, so we don't need to go into that anymore. If you are listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, we do live stream it every Monday night at 8 p.m. Mountain Time on YouTube. And that is also available as a video on demand the following day. But you can find it over there on youtube.com/Noah Parker_channel. And if you're here on the YouTube watching us, you want a audio-only option, we are on not Cashbox. Oh, I haven't said Cashbox in a long time. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and iHeart Podcasts. Just search for Noah Parker's World of Wonder over there. We have a game night tentatively planned for Wednesday night. I keep saying like we're doing it this week, and then we end up not doing it for one reason or another. So we tentatively have a game night planned for this Wednesday. That'll also be live streamed at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. And I think we have our first non-Disney vlog in a long time coming out this Saturday at 4 p.m. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. If you are, make sure you hit the notification icon next to the subscribe button while you're subscribing, so that way you get notified every time we upload new videos and we go live. I have spoken my voice into hoarseness, and I hope to see you guys next time, because it's going to be more fun. We are coming up on the season break again. I'm losing my train of thought so hard right now. We are about a month away from the season break now. About exactly a month, actually. So we'll be for 4 more episodes, and then we're going to be off for a full month of the podcast. We still intend on making like the mainline videos and stuff. But we're going to be taking a break from the podcast for a month, just with a couple of reasons, actually. This time it's mostly to reconfigure the studio. We're getting some upgrades, and I have a vision for how I want to adjust some things. So
there you go.
I think I've talked enough. Join us next week, guys.
Till then.
Yeah, till then, let the wonder take hold.